Costco just recalled over 400,000 units of ready-to-eat sandwiches, salads, and wraps after listeria was found spreading across their food production lines. Not in one state, not two, but across multiple warehouses that serve millions of customers weekly. That's not a minor slip. That's a food safety failure of national scale, and it's still unfolding after September 2025. So when people say Costco means quality, what exactly are they talking about? In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on 9 food items you absolutely need to avoid at Costco right now. Some are under official recall. Others are quietly being called out by frustrated shoppers who say the products aren't what they used to be, or worse, never were what they claimed. If Costco is part of your weekly routine, this is something you need to see before your next trip. You'll want to stick around until the end, because number 7, that one had 0 flavor and full bacteria. Let's break it all down. Number 1. Kirkland Signature Bacon. Kirkland Signature Bacon used to be one of those things you could throw in your cart without thinking twice. Trusted, familiar, and always stocked in bulk. But since early 2025, something's gone off. People aren't just grumbling about price hikes anymore, they're questioning if what they're buying is even the same product. By mid-March this year, customers across multiple states began raising alarm bells. Bacon labeled thick cut was turning out paper thin. Packs that promised consistency were delivering slices so uneven some pieces were floppy and fell apart before cooking, while others came out stiff and dry. That inconsistency isn't just inconvenient, it's a red flag that something fundamental in production or sourcing has changed. At the same time, others started noticing a disturbing rise in sodium levels. Recent side-by-side comparisons show Kirkland bacon carrying nearly 320 milligrams of sodium per serving, significantly more than several competing brands on shelves today. For anyone watching their blood pressure or trying to cut back on processed foods, that number hits hard. And when bacon is sold in bulk, those extra milligrams stack up fast, creating a risk many buyers didn't bargain for. Then comes the fat. Not just more fat, but weird, greasy, clumpy fat. Packs with nearly no visible meat. Strips that clump together so tightly that pulling them apart ruins their shape. Some shoppers even reported the product feeling slimy or slick straight from the package long before the printed expiration date. Several opened their packs only to find the first few slices fine, and the rest soaked in fat and barely usable. So what's behind the slide? Costco hasn't issued a recall. No public explanation has been made. But the surge in complaints from coast to coast has one common thread: this bacon doesn't taste, feel, or cook like it used to. And for a store that prides itself on consistency, that should set off alarms. What's worse is how many people bought it thinking they were saving money. When you're living on a fixed income or managing a family budget, buying bacon in bulk feels like the smart move. But when half of what's in the package ends up unusable or worse, dangerous to your health, you're not saving anything, you're losing. If you've noticed the quality shift, you're not imagining things. And if you haven't yet, it might be time to look closer before your next purchase. Watch for unusually pale color, uneven cuts, and excess liquid or fat inside the package. Don't be afraid to return it if it doesn't feel right. Costco's return policy exists for a reason, and right now this bacon might be the best reason to use it. Tell us in the comments, are you done with Kirkland bacon? And which bacon brand do you trust these days? Number 2. Generic Costco cheese. Something's deeply wrong with Costco's so-called generic cheese. Sharp cheddar that isn't sharp. Slices supposed to melt nicely, but instead clump or become greasy. Flavor that once popped now whispers bland. In summer 2025, dozens of Costco shoppers posted on forums and review sites complaining that Kirkland sharp cheddar no longer delivers. One wrote that I bought a block and tried it on crackers, nothing. Another said it tastes watered down. These aren't isolated posts. Comments are coming in from Oregon, Washington, California, and even parts of the Midwest. Then there's the recall. Tillamook Colby Jack and Monterey Jack twin slices sold at Costco in the Northwest region were voluntarily pulled after small gray and black pieces of plastic were found inside the Monterey Jack slices. The affected twin packs were 32 ounce with a best if used by date of October 22, 2024, sold between May 9th and May 31st, 2024. Yes, that was earlier, but many households still have leftover cheese or froze portions, and the memory of this incident has heightened suspicion. Cleanup and refund were offered, but the damage to trust may linger. On top of that, in June 2025, an analysis of consumer feedback showed that over 70% of recent reviewers of generic and Kirkland cheese blocks claim that flavor and texture have declined compared to previous years. Words like rubbery, chalky, no tang, too salty appeared repeatedly. People who once bought by the case now skip that aisle, entirely choosing smaller, more premium labels. Why should that matter? For many, cheese is more than just a topping or snack. It's comfort, tradition, family meals. When what's supposed to be comforting starts alarming your taste buds, what else might be slipping? If you're preparing dishes for grandchildren or living with a spouse who's sensitive to strong smells, bland or off cheese shifts meals from pleasure to frustration. What to look for if you still shop Costco for cheese: first, inspect the packaging. If the block looks too pale, unnaturally white, or with streaks of uneven color, pass. Smell it. Sharp cheese should hit you with bite, not smell faint. Cut into a piece. If the texture is chalky rather than creamy, toss it. Also, save your receipt. Many shoppers report returns are accepted even when opened, especially if you complain about poor flavor or texture. Costco's satisfaction policy still works if you push. Comparisons are everywhere. People are switching from generic Kirkland blocks to Tillamook proper, Cabot sharp cheddar Beecher's handmade cheese, or even small regional dairies in California or Vermont. These cost more per pound, yes, but many say the flavor payoff, the texture integrity, the melt is worth that extra $1.50 or more. If you've tried the generic cheese lately and felt it ghosting your expectations, share that below. Which brand regained your trust and flavor? Maybe it's time Costco hears from us loud and clear. Number 3. Fresh and ready food sandwiches. Imagine grabbing a ready-to-eat sandwich from Costco, thinking it's safe, fresh, reliable, then end up in a hospital bed. That's not paranoia anymore. In May 2025, federal investigators confirmed a multi-state listeria outbreak tied to Fresh and Ready Foods LLC. 10 people across California and Nevada were hospitalized. 1 person died. These weren't just random illnesses. Whole genome sequencing proved the same strain of Listeria monocytogenes found in environmental samples in the Fresh and Ready facility matched the strain that made people sick. The contamination was traced to equipment used in producing sandwiches and snack items. Products under recall include dozens of ready-to-eat sandwiches and snack items sold between April 28th and May 11th in Arizona, California, Nevada, Washington. Use-by dates cover April 22nd through May 19th, 2025. These items were distributed far beyond just Costco warehouses to hospitals, hotels, convenience stores, airports, even airlines. Shoppers who thought they were buying lunch find themselves thrown a dangerous risk instead. If you're 65 or older, pregnant, immune suppressed, or caring for someone who is, this development hits hard. Listeria isn't gradual for folks like that. It can strike fast, causing severe headache, stiff neck, fever, confusion, even miscarriage in pregnant individuals. And here's what's chilling: some of the recalled sandwiches had already passed their use-by date when alerts were issued, meaning many might have been eaten, tossed, frozen without thinking. In response, Fresh and Ready Foods LLC pulled over 80 of their ready-to-eat items from shelves. They removed suspect equipment, started deep cleaning, and worked with regulators to tighten environmental monitoring. Costco alerted members, posted notices, urged everyone who bought any of those products to throw them away or return them. But posters and warnings may not reach every household. Now let's talk real cost. People who trusted convenient single parents, retirees, stretched thin folks who rely on these ready meals end up paying with more than money. Hospital bills, health scares, time off work fear. For someone on fixed income, one recall can mean lost trust and a cascade of worry the next time they reach for that pre-packaged sandwich. What to do? Check your fridge now. If you find any Fresh and Ready City Point Market, Fresh Food to Go, or Fresh Take Crave Away branded sandwich with a use-by date between April 22nd and May 19th, 2025, discard immediately. Clean any surfaces the packaging touched. If you bought from Costco, request refund even if opened. Costco has been accommodating in many recall cases. Tell me in comments, how many of these sandwiches have you bought recently? Did you toss one away quietly, or did you demand accountability? Share your experience, because the more of us speak up, the more likely change will actually happen. Number 4. Kirkland Signature Organic Pasture Raised Eggs. Costco's organic pasture-raised eggs tipped into public alarm in late 2024. The supplier, Handsome Brook Farms, issued a voluntary recall of 10,800 cartons of its Kirkland Signature Organic Pasture raised 24-count eggs, because these eggs were found to have a potential salmonella contamination risk. They weren't supposed to be sold in retail packaging, but a mix-up sent them to Costco stores across 5 states: Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and South Carolina. These cartons bear UPC 9661910-680 Julian code 327 and a use-by date of January 5, 2025. The recall was later elevated to a Class 1 designation by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. This is the highest alert level, meaning exposure could reasonably lead to serious illness or death. Now imagine what that means for your family meals. Organic pasture-raised eggs are supposed to be safer, cleaner, better for health. When those eggs carry risk of salmonella, suddenly everything about them feels suspect. Vulnerable groups: seniors, young children, pregnant people bear the weight most heavily. Diarrhea, fever, vomiting, abdominal cramps, even systemic infection if bacteria enter the bloodstream. For older folks or people with weakened immune systems, those symptoms can escalate fast. What's more unsettling, no illnesses were reported at the time of the recall, but epidemiologists warn that onset of salmonella symptoms often lags days after consumption. Some people might not link a mild illness back to eggs they ate days earlier. Meanwhile, hundreds of thousands of consumers trust the Kirkland label for organic pasture-raised eggs. For many, this type of egg cost more, carried higher expectations, but this recall showed those expectations are fragile. Hanson Brook Farms says the error came from packaging mistakes. Eggs not meant for retail found their way into cartons sent to stores. The company pledged added supply chain safeguards and retraining of workers to avoid this kind of mispackaging again. But for many shoppers, that promise sounds like just words when trust has been shaken. If you bought these eggs, used by January 5, 2025, check your fridge now. Discard or return them to Costco for full refund. Even unopened cartons matter. Discarding might cost some money now, but the cost of illness or hospitalization would be much higher. Let's dig deeper. Could your eggs from earlier or later batches also be at risk because of similar supply chain issues? Did Costco audit all pasture-raised egg suppliers similarly, or was this lapse isolated? Consumers deserve those answers. For people managing health, heart disease, diabetes, immune issues, this kind of risk isn't abstract, it's pressing. If you've ever reached for those pasture-raised eggs because you believed organic meant safe, or because you wanted better nutrition, share what you felt when you learned this recall. Which egg brand did you switch to after this? And what steps are you taking now to be absolutely sure your eggs aren't quietly dangerous? Number 5. Kirkland smoked salmon. What if that salmon sitting in your freezer now could be silently dangerous? That possibility became real in October 2024 when Acme Smokefish Corporation recalled 111 cases of Kirkland signature smoked salmon. Why? Lab tests confirmed Listeria monocytogenes contamination. It was packaged in twin 12-ounce packages, lot number 8512801270, UPC 09661925696. Best by date was November 13, 2024. It was distributed between October 9th and October 13th via Costco distribution centers in Florida. Public notice came out late October, but the issue wasn't over. In January 2025, the FDA officially upgraded this recall to Class 1, the highest risk level. Class I means serious adverse health consequences or possibility of death. For many consumers, that's chilling. Even though Costco removed the recalled salmon from shelves long ago, some people may have frozen these packages thinking, I'll use this later. Freezing doesn't kill Listeria. It simply pauses growth until thawed. For households with older adults, those with compromised immune systems, or pregnant folks, that salmon is a ticking time bomb. Symptoms of listeriosis can include high fever, stiff neck, severe headache, nausea, diarrhea, sometimes death or miscarriage in pregnancy. Many health professionals warn these risks are not theoretical. They occur especially when the contamination level is confirmed in lab testing. What's upsetting is that no illnesses had been officially reported at the time of the recall. That might sound comforting, but many foodborne illness cases go unreported. Someone might get ill, think it's just bad salmon, or blame something else. Meanwhile, Costco members trusted the smoked salmon label and paid premium for what's supposed to be high-quality, ready-to-eat product. When that trust fractures, what else can you rely on? Costco responded by urging customers to check their freezers, not the shelves, since stores had already pulled the product. Anyone in possession of the affected salmon should return it for a full refund or discard it. Notices were issued via FDA recall posts and Costco's own recall page. Still, many freezers across Florida and possibly neighboring states may still contain the lot. Here's what to do if you want to protect yourself. Check the packaging carefully. Look for lot number 851280127 UPC 0966192569676 and best by date November 13, 2024. If any match, throw it out or return it. Never taste it just a little bit. For pregnant persons, elderly, or those with immune issues, even just a bite is dangerous. Cooked or smoked salmon often feels safe, but listeria doesn't need heat to be harmful after processing. If you saw this recall and shook your head, good. If you didn't know before now, this may sting. Did you ever eat smoked salmon after freezing something just like this? Are you checking every package now? Use your voice in comments. Tell us how many of these you found in your freezer. Did you toss them or return them? Sharing this helps others wake up to risks they might be ignoring. Number 6, Kirkland Signature Colombian Coffee. Something changed in that can of Kirkland Signature Colombian Coffee, and shoppers aren't staying quiet. Over the course of 2024 into 2025, dozens of customers began pointing out that the Colombian Supremo coffee from Costco tastes acrid, oddly bitter, and far less full-bodied than it used to. Flavor profiles that once had notes of caramel chocolate mild fruitiness now seem burnt, flat, acidic. The beans smell sharper, not inviting. Something about roast or bean origin appears shifted. Price surges added salt to the wound. What cost around $13.50 in August 2024 jumped to nearly $19 in many warehouses by mid-2025. Many are not just complaining about price, they're wondering if cost increases came with corners being cut. Some Reddit threads claim the coffee might no longer be 100% Colombian beans, or might include cheaper beans blended in, or roast levels shifted to mask inferior beans. Those are serious claims given what people paid for premium origin stable flavor, a reliable sip. Taste test reviews from specialty coffee blogs and best Costco coffee roundups agree. Kirkland's Colombian Supremo has slipped in quality. Among Kirkland whole bean or ground options, the Colombian Supremo often ranks lower than earlier vintages. Commenters describe oily beans that leave residue roasts so dark that bitterness overwhelms subtle flavors. A coffee that used to greet people gently in the morning now hits bitter notes before sweetness even appears. For people sensitive to digestive issues or acid reflux, this kind of change can mean more than disappointment. It can mean discomfort after each cup. Costco has not issued any recall or safety alert related to this coffee. No confirmed additives or adulteration have been announced. But the pattern is worrying: flavor complaints across states, price hikes, possible changes in roast profile or bean source. When you buy something labeled Colombian Supremo, you expect consistency. When roast masks cheap beans or when dark roast hides poor quality, you're getting less than you paid for. If you have that 3-pound can or whole bean bag from late 2024 or early 2025, brew a cup with scrutiny. Smell it first. Does it smell burnt or overly charred? Taste it black if the bitterness hits before any sweetness you're tasting decline. Try comparing side by side with smaller producer Colombian beans or trusted specialty brands. Save your receipt. Costco's return policy often works even for open bags, particularly when people complain about taste or aroma quality. Many folks are switching away. Brands like Stumptown Counterculture, Verve, or Blue Bottle are showing up in discussion threads as replacements. Yes, more expensive, but people say flavor, mouthfeel, aftertaste, none of the harshness. These smaller roasters roast fresher, often source more transparently, and their roast dates are printed clearly. For people with dietary concerns like acid sensitivity or caffeine tolerance, paying extra for clarity and consistency might protect more than just your wallet. It might protect your morning comfort. What did you notice in your cup this week? Did the coffee smell like burnt rubber? Was your stomach unsettled? Did you find yourself adding more creamer and sugar just to mask a bitter bite? Share below. If enough of us raise the alarm, maybe Costco does more than adjust labels. They might bring back the flavor you signed up for. Number 7. Topo Chico Mineral Water. Think water is the one thing you can't get wrong. Think again. In June 2025, an 18-pack of glass Topo Chico mineral water sold at select Costco warehouses in Texas and Louisiana was voluntarily recalled. What triggered the recall potential contamination with Pseudomonas aeruginosa, a bacterium commonly found in water sources, but dangerous under certain conditions. Costco posted its notice. Coca-Cola, which distributes Topo Chico, urged full refunds. For most folks, the risk is low, but for others, the threat isn't theoretical. People with weakened immune systems, those using medical devices such as catheters, patients with open wounds, or those recovering from surgery may face severe infections if exposed. Pseudomonas can lead to complications in the lungs' urinary tract bloodstream, and those complications aren't just unpleasant, they can escalate. Hospitals warn that even though no illnesses were officially reported after this, Topo Chico recalled the incubation period, underreporting, and casual assumption, "I'll be fine," make the danger real, especially in vulnerable populations. What's even more unsettling, glass bottles look harmless. Clear water, rock-solid packaging trust, built over decades. These 18 packs look perfect, but the lot code placed it in danger. People who stored them in pantry or fridge thinking they were doing something healthy now have to wonder whether that trust betrayed them. Also, many households bought multiple packs during that late May window. Disposal or return feels wasteful, but the invisible risk might be worse. Coca-Cola and Costco responded. Shelves were cleared, notices posted, refunds offered. Consumers are asked to check the lot code printed both on the case and on each bottleneck. If your Topo Chico matches lot code 13, A2541, purchased between May 20th and May 29th, 2025, do not drink it, return for refund. Also, clean any surfaces the bottles touched, and if you experienced unusual symptoms after consuming it, fever, chills, nausea, seek advice. Look at what this means in the bigger picture. Water you assume is simple can carry hidden threats. If mineral water straight from the bottle can be questioned, what about other everyday staples you trust without thinking? For those who cook with this water, drink it daily, use it in drinks. You've possibly exposed yourself without knowing. Anxiety over something as basic as hydration is unsettling, especially when your health or your loved one's health depends on what seems safe. Which begs a grim thought. How many of us have poured water, gave it to grandchildren, or used it to soothe thirst, believing in purity? Are we now guarding bottles, checking lot codes, tossing what we bought? If you found a pack of Topo Chico with lot code 13, A2541 in your pantry right now, you know what to do? Share what you did. Did you return it, throw it out? Keep silent. Your voice helps others wake up to risks they might still be ignoring. Number 8. Ritz peanut butter cracker sandwiches. One small label mistake almost became a medical emergency. On July 8, 2025, Mondelez Global LLC issued a nationwide recall of several cartons of Ritz peanut butter cracker sandwiches. Why? Because some of the individually wrapped packs inside these cartons are incorrectly labeled as cheese variety, even though they may contain peanut butter. For people with peanut allergies or severe sensitivity, swallowing one mislabeled snack could trigger a life-threatening reaction. Even though the outer carton is correctly marked with contains peanuts, many people trust that all inner packs will match what the label says. In this case, that trust was broken. The mistake came from defective film packaging rolls supplied to the plant. Labeling inside film wrappers was wrong. Consumer safety officials classified this as an allergen labeling error. No confirmed reports of illness have been announced yet, but challenging symptoms such as hives, swelling, wheezing, tight throat, or worse, anaphylaxis, can begin fast after accidental ingestion. These impacted products include those sold in 8, 20, and 40-pack cartons, and a 20-pack variety pack that includes both peanut butter and cheese varieties. The best. When used by dates for affected cartons, range between November 1st through November 9th, 2025, and January 2nd through January 22nd, 2026. The error affects only some inner packs. Cheese-only cartons and other Ritz product lines are not impacted. What many people don't realize is how quickly a mislabeled snack can cause chaos in a household. If someone allergic to peanuts grabs what they believe is a cheese sandwich because it's packed and printed that way, they might consume peanut butter without knowing. Schools, daycares, camps where parents pack snacks rely on clear labeling. One tiny label misprint could lead to emergency room visits or worse. Mondelez's response: recall the product, issue a public notice, offer refunds or returns. Retailers are being asked to pull the affected cartons from shelves. Customers are being urged to inspect inner wrappers, not just outer boxes. If your packaging matches the affected descriptions, discard or return them. If someone in your household has any peanut allergy, even a mild reaction, history assume risk until you've checked. If you bought these cartons thinking the cheese label meant cheese only, you're not alone, and the possibility that your pantry holds risk without knowing it should worry you. The labeling error might seem small, but for peanut allergy sufferers, it could be massive. Would you feel safe giving one of those crackers to a child at school if you didn't open it first? Let's be clear, no illness reports yet. That might sound okay, but allergen reactions can happen quietly or be mistaken for something else. The absence of reports does not mean absence of harm. If at any moment you experience itching, swelling, throat tightness after eating a cheese-labeled pack, that pack could be one of the affected ones. Now, what to do? Check every cracker wrapper inside the carton. If any inner wrapper says cheese variety, but the carton says it's the peanut butter pack, assume risk. Discard or return. Keep your receipt. If possible, swap for brands that have spotless allergen. Labeling names like Justin's Wow Butter Sun Butter, or crackers from brands specializing in allergy-aware snacks. Have you discovered one of these mislabeled crackers hidden in your pantry? Did you toss it, return it, or quietly ignore it? Write in the comments. Sharing counts. More awareness from people like you can force better checks next time. Number 9. Ready-to-bake Costco. Bakery items. When baked goods aren't safe, even the smell of fresh bread feels like a betrayal. In November 2024, Costco recalled its butter croissants sold in its bakery section nationwide. Why? Because the salt used in the baking process was contaminated with foreign matter metal fragments. The best buy dates ranged from early September through early November 2024, and even though those batches are long off the shelves, plenty of people freeze or hoard baked goods, meaning unsafe products may still linger. No reported illnesses yet, but the risk speaks volumes. Complaints didn't stop with that recall. Throughout 2024 and into 2025, members have shared stories of bakery items that taste off crusts that burn too quickly and sides that stay doughy even with full bake time, or pastries that dry out overnight beyond anything expected. Muffin cinnamon rolls, Danish's favorites, all have been criticized heavily. In one summer review, more than half of respondents said, the Costco bakery muffins are too dense, too dry, or just bland. Moisture levels are inconsistent. Flavor hits weak. For people who rely on ready-to-bake items, shoppers pressed for time, those who don't want to bake from scratch, or those with limited mobility, this decline isn't trivial. It's disappointment that adds up. You buy a pack of croissants expecting butterflake and golden brown. What you get is heavy, under-crisped dough and a burnt edge. It costs nearly the same or more per ounce than smaller bakeries, yet delivers much less payoff. Here's a danger many don't anticipate: foreign matter. The metal in the salt used for the croissant recall could have ended up in any number of salt-seasoned baked items. If a small metal shard goes unnoticed, it can damage teeth, cause internal cuts, or worse. Then there's foodborne risk. Underbaked dough retains moisture heat, so bacteria like Salmonella or E. coli for enriched doughs could survive in dense, wet interiors. And with packaging that doesn't always protect against moisture loss or cold exposure, product spoiling becomes easy. If you have ready-to-bake bakery packs from Costco croissants, rolls, Danish's muffins, especially from fall 2024 to spring 2025, inspect them well. Smell them. If there's a metallic tang, odd texture, soggy centers, toss them or return for refund. Check customer feedback online. Some warehouses accept returns even when packaging is open for problems of taste, texture, or safety. So I'll leave you with this: when you reach into your freezer for a pack of ready-to-bake rolls, croissants, or muffins, do you trust what you're about to eat won't betray you? Did you find one of those recalled butter croissants in your freezer? What did you do? Throw it out, return it, or ignore it? Leave a comment. Your story may protect someone else from biting into disappointment or worse. Think twice before you toss that Kirkland pack in your cart. What looks like value could be cutting corners where it hurts most your health. These aren't small slip-ups. They're signs of a system that's slipping, and it's time we stop buying blind. Stay sharp. Share this with someone you care about. And the next time you shop, ask yourself, is the risk really worth the deal?
This video does not promote division within the United States or encourage education. All content is presented for the purpose of exploration, analysis, and fostering discussion based on current events, public sentiment, and social trends. We fully respect the United States Constitution and all federal regulations. If today's analysis made you think, drop a comment so we can keep the conversations going. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you will never miss our next independent deep dive.